Okay, here we go. So this is CFF Juja system, a church management system. It has several modules that we're gonna cover. Of course, we see the mission, tracking the members, and of course events and maybe the services. Communication is a key thing. So you can see clearly the core modules like for membership management, which we are gonna clearly look at event and attendance, giving, finance, church and communication. So without ado, let's just log into the system. Here we go. So you key in your credentials. Normally the system will come with like 3 accounts: the super admin account, and a normal account. Of course, we will assist you with configuring the system. And now once you're going on production, you can change the password for those accounts. So we'll start with the dashboard. As you land into the system, once you have managed to log in successfully, you'll see this is like a quick glance, or maybe getting some information at a glance. So you can be able to tell we have a total of 11 members. So, and of course you can see like there's 2 from last month, so it's a downward trend. Maybe 5 from last month, it's an upward trend. That will tell you that. Of course, here you can see also members who have joined with the groups that are currently there, and the home sales. If there is an upcoming event, and how many events that are happening within that particular month. Of course, you can be able to tell the members in your church how they are grouped. You can see now in terms of marital status, they are grouped in this way. So we can see most of the people are single. Of course, here you can see the gender distribution within the organization. You can be able to tell how many males we are here, how many females. Then, of course, members by the group. So you can see how we have maybe the group that has the largest population, like that. You can be able to tell at a glance. Or age distribution, you can see maybe at which particular age our members are at. So you can clearly see how you are able to get a lot of. And of course, our system is data driven. So once you have a lot of data, the more intuitive these widgets will be. Spiritual growth, you can see the born again, the one that have been water baptized, spiritually filled. Upcoming birthday, here it will tell you those. It will look at the month and see whether do we have a particular birthday for this particular member. Then you can do maybe some quick action, follow up with the member so that they feel they are valued. Here you can see also recent members who have joined. Yeah, here is just a trend of the growth of the within. Of course, you can see this is the month that we are in. Then you go downwards. Then this is the join trend, how the people have been joining. Yeah. So that is the dashboard. First and foremost, I'll go to the users, because any system must be operated by users. So you must have a way to add users to your application who will be operating the system. So once you come into the system, you'll see the users here. So you are at the dashboard level, where we saw intuitive widgets. Now you see users, which is the next. So these are those people that will be operating the system. Now, to add a user, you'll see a button here telling you add a user. And of course, you'll see a list of users. This is their profile image, their names, This is their bio data. So the super admin is the responsible for giving the rights to users. Okay, here we go. So now we were at the topic of creating a user so that we can be able to tell. So we say Albert Aris GFX Albert 01234567, and let's say maybe he's a writer, okay? Or maybe let's even dot. Let's just give him the user, okay? Okay. Now we see record created successfully, and you can see our Albert Caris here. If I open this now in incognito, you can bear with me. We'll be able to move back and forth so that you can witness. So I can copy the email, and of course we have a default password that now we send to the user by the email. The one they will use is a one-time password. So they'll come, they key in, and once they log in, they'll be able to be told to change that password. As you can see now, I've logged in as Albert, okay? And as Albert, I cannot now see here. You cannot be able to add users here. But you see, as me as super admin, I can add user. I can also do what here? I can be able to delete the user. I can be able to edit the user. But as Albert here, I can't even edit the user. So even the members you cannot be able to create. But this is because it's because now of the roles and the permissions that I've talked about. So now I think it's now a better time to look at what are these roles and permissions. Okay, for the roles and permission, this is what now controls the systems, so that now you are able to tell these members can do that. And now we are going to the roles and permission. So what are roles? Roles, these are defined because now if you start with the permission, you do you have permission to create a user? Do you have permission to edit users? Do you have permission to delete users? Do you have permissions to add member? Do you have permission to export to Excel? Things like that. Yeah. So now these permissions, because there are so many, you see, now then again you can group them into roles. You can say I have a role of an editor, and now you have defined permission. An editor does this and this and this and this within the system. An approver only approves items in the system. So you are able to say this role has the permissions to approve members, approve maybe donations, approve, you see? So that now when you assign a user a role, you'll be able to get all the permissions within that role. So if you come here to system parameters, on the authorization, you see roles and permission. If you click on permission, you see it's a huge list. Okay. Yeah, it's a huge list. It's a huge list. Okay. So of course, when we are developing the system, developing new modules, we can be able now to customize this permission. We say this, then we now role, you'll be able to add role and then the permission. So in our case here, let's go to the users and see, did we assign Albert any particular role? Yeah, we did. Yeah, and this is the user. So we can come here and see on the authorization roles, the roles for the user. If we edit, we can see the user doesn't have any permission. Okay. Now, if we go to the incognito, let's say we want to be able for you to add members, okay? You see, currently you can't add members, and of course you can't edit members. So we want you to be able to add members and edit members. So there is create member, edit member, okay? And of course you can select all the permissions, but they are huge. So we can submit, we submit like that. Then what I like to go is go to the permissions page and flash the those permissions so that you can clear the cache and what have you, so that now the system will be able to pick up those new settings. Yeah, so you get that and know that you are good. Now, if we, let's see, if we refresh now, you can be able to see now you can be able to add a new member. Okay? Yeah. So for the edit, I think we'll look at that. But yeah, I think you get the point. So permissions, you add them to a particular role. That a role is the one that you are going to create a role, then you assign that role permissions. I say even we have seen even the users module. There were particular forms that we saw where now you have maybe you may have let's assume these are fields and you may have some drop downs, maybe yes or no, maybe you have another drop down, you get those fields, okay, and they may be repeating, maybe it's a yes or no drop down, it's maybe for gender which can be maybe repeat. So for those particular fields we have also automated that in the system, so that now when you come to the parameters here, so these are some of the parameters that we are working with the version 3. These parameters, what we are looking in is maybe like, because the system uses cache, you can be able to change the duration of the caching mechanism. Also, for the theme, you can be able to change the primary colors and the secondary colors. You can be able to play around with the trying to change the theme. So yeah, here we'll have those. But our key interest for now is this value list, okay? When you come to params here, params, you run to this screen, then you go to value list. Now this value list is where now you can be able to add those drop down that you can be able to reuse within your entire system. So members is majorly the core the core of our system, where of course the church revolve around its members, and if you don't control members very well, now I'll start by saying we need a way to capture the members within the church. Who are they? Who are our flocks? Where are they? Where do they come from? Yeah, the demography, you see. You want to see how many youths you have. Now, all this will be able to tell within that fancy dashboard I showed you earlier, by, of course, having a way to capture your members, all the details that you can capture as possible. Of course, when capturing the members' data, make sure you have their consent. Otherwise, may face legal issues. So here, the data we have is dummy data that we have used. You can see, you can be able to see the details of the member, their names, their member ID, phone, blah, 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 whatnot. Of course, these are not all the data. Because we have a lot of data, you have an eye which can be able to view now all the data of a particular member. Yeah, so now you can be able to see the full names, blah, 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 gender, yada, yada, family information, contacts. So the information is grouped into sections. You have personal information, or the field stated that. You have family information, you have contact and residence information. So you see how we have grouped this. Church membership, you have now the groups, A member can be in particular group, they can be in a home cells, maybe for prayer purposes, grouping those members in home cells. The time they joined, the time they were initiated as the members. Remember, when you join a church is not the time you become a full member of the church. There is an official join date. Okay, here you can be able even to add their children. So yeah, someone without a good knowledge of how this system works will say, where can we add the children? We can be able, like we had one member complaining, I cannot be able to add children. Where do I add? So you can see this is where now you add children relating to that member. So you must have created a member first in order to come and create their children, because of course parent exists before a child. You have their spiritual information, you have the maybe previous church information, where they came from, the ministries that they are associated with. Of course, we have system informations like who created this member, when, the member ID. Of course, there's quick actions here, maybe to edit the member information, delete members. These are maybe for targeted users who can be able to do this. If you say edit a user, you can be able to see all the details. Now I want us to create a new member. So I'll come here and say add a new member. Okay. So this is just a dummy data. So if you come here to the member number, remember when you are taking users through this system, must uh, learn very well about this. This member number is automatically filled here. Okay. How the system works, it's, you see there is a little information here. If you click this, it will tell you the next member number. It's an auto incremented number, so it will tell you the this is 12. Now we can change this and say I want this member number to be number 20. You can do that. You see here we have skipped. So, like if I say now 20, we do have skipped number 13, 14. So now if I say 20, when I come to create another member, it will tell me the skipped value, like maybe 13, 14, 15, 16, up to that number. But for now, all numbers are sequentially following each other and none has been skipped. If you go to many churches, you see each member has a number. 1, 2, 3, because you don't want to go saying member this, you saying their names. You can identify them by number. You say member. Let's just give random values here. So groups, elders, youth, ministry, intercessor, home sales, central. Yeah, you see record created successfully, and maybe you can continue creating other members, but we won't create other members. So we see our member has been created successfully. Now you can view the details of the member. If you are not satisfied, you can edit the member here. There is a edit. If this member, if they have children, you see this particular button, add children. Yeah, you see, they will be just added here. So you have quick links. If you click on this, you can be able to view groups. Okay. Yeah, and of course, each group it can tell you, like each group has these members, each group has these members, each group, okay, and you can add new group like that, okay, as simple as that. So that's how to add a new group. Now, to add a home cell, if you go again to the quick links, you see we have ministries, home cell, children. So let's go to ministries. So you can see each ministry, it will tell you how many members it has, and you can add a new ministry just like that. Okay. The same case for home sales. Yeah. Although here we just add So you can see here home sales, they have a leader in particular home sale. Okay, you can add new home sales. So for home sales, you see even you have more fields. So also you have children, but I showed you how to add children. The easy way is to go to a member themselves, because now here when you say add children, you must now again go there and search the parent or the guardian. Here you can search either by the number. It will search. Okay, we don't have, but 12 we have. So you can search by the member number. Alternatively, you can search by the name, maybe Gesh. And of course, this will go to the DB and search that user, and then you get a result. Okay. So this parent or guardian is is something that you are searching in the DP, because you may have even thousands of members. You see, even here we have adopted a method to search the members, where you can say I want to search with member number, and then maybe I want number 12, search. You get that user. You say you want to search with national ID 3240, search. You see, no matching members found. So if there is no members, it will roll. And of course, again, you can export these particular members. Either you can export all the members, or you can import by group, where you say, I want by group, then you select a particular group. Okay. And of course, if you say you want just let's say we want the youth, because we know Gesh, we had placed her in the youth, and see whether we'll get Gesh in our document. So Gesh is in youth, so if we don't get that, you have an issue with our system. But luckily, Gesh is there. Yeah, yeah, and it has a title here. This is the member report, groups youth generated. I think the next module is, so these are not huge ones, is for the events. So you may have upcoming planned events within your church or organizations. Let's say on Sunday, you'll have, of course, the mass on Sunday. So of course that is an event. So you say Sunday, the Sunday of, the Sunday of 15th at maybe this location. Then you will say this date to attend. Of course, if we say now we want to add, let's see. So you can say maybe the church, the Sunday Mass, Sunday Mass of course, it will be date 15th, 15th of March. Of course, yeah. So it will be on 15th, like that. Group who will be attending, of course, all the members. So here we have the members by the groups, then you have all members. So you say all members. Description, Sunday, Mass, service. Location, maybe here you can have a drop down, but for now, we'll say the Central. Maybe they go to a place called Central Place. So then you submit. Now you have your event that will happen on this particular date. Yeah. Now this event, of course, you can be able to see who is attending. It should be able to say the total members of those who are attending. So you can have all the member counts. If you say it's for a particular group, then how many members are in that group? Yeah, so attendance percent here is you capture those members that will attend, so you'll have a way to capture them, then compare with the total count. You get the percentage. Yeah, so now to view the event itself, you can either click on this, the title itself, then you can see uh, the event itself, the details, present 0, absent 0, and of course you can be able to add. Adding attendance, you can add maybe by. So those who will attend for this is a group, and we want all members to attend in person. So here you are just recording the members. So you see, like here I've added all the members in the youth group. Okay? So I've added them to this event. Then you can be able to mark them here whether by the status. Was this member present? Yes. Was he absent? Yes. Was he excused? Like that. And of course, you can see now the Sunday Mass will be it's something that will be happening if you view on the calendar. Of course, here you can select the year that you want to see, maybe on the calendar, the events on the calendar. So donations and givings, this is where you track how members are giving their donations and tithe, and maybe for some other purposes. So if maybe you have a particular donations, you come here, and of course for member, the way we said, given you can have 1,000 of members, you can search maybe their member number, number one, who is number one, King Queen, of the amount 2,000. Purpose, maybe this was a pledge. Method, M-Pesa, they sent through M-Pesa, and they did that today. Okay, so now you can be able now to track those donations, maybe for a particular purpose. So like now you see how we have this purpose. Let's say in our church, we have come together and we have realized we have a mourning. Some of our members have passed away, and we need to do gathering some of those funds. This is now where the value list comes in. Remember, now we have the purpose. We want to add another purpose. Now, instead of you the way you could have gone now, oh, developer, where are you? Come, you can now go to the params and maybe go to the value list, and then you can add a value list. Let's see whether we have. You see, we have givings purpose. So first you see your, like, even you can search the value. So you search by the value so that you know, like on those values where we had the purpose, we had like maybe tithe. Yeah. So if you search tithe, you expect to get the type. Now this type here is the one that you'll copy. Then when you go to add value list, if you search, you get that here. Then say this, we can say is for Arambe or Parish degree. Okay. Then once we go again to the donations and event, I hope it is there. You see, you can be able now to get Arambe for Parish degree. Now we can be able to group all those giving. So I hope you get that point. Then other key module is the communications. You need a way to be communicating to your flock. Okay, maybe there is a change of plan, or maybe there is a particular guest visiting the church. The bishop is coming. Uh, you know, uh, we have postponed, or maybe we are going. Yes, yes, and sort no and whatnot. So here is where you come and say you have an announcement for to break fasting after 4 days. Okay, so of course this is happening that particular date, and it's ending. You can say this will end maybe tomorrow, that particular date, description for the pastor to be blessed. Body, maybe how fellow. So now when you submit that, you have an announcement on your hand, okay? Now, if you say we view this, uh, we can be able to send this announcement. Maybe you want them to go to particular groups. Maybe it's the elders, it's the men who have the money. So maybe you want to add some additional details. But here, the plan is to pull that body there here, so that if you want to change something, you can change. And then you can choose your method, whether you want to send this by email. So if you say by email, it will go back to the uh, members module, pull their email that you added, and start sending emails. Of course, we utilize queues when doing this, because you may have several, maybe 1,000 members, and you don't want to spam your email provider to be seen as a spam. You can also opt to do this by the SMS. Of course, this requires integrations with third-party providers, where now you can be able to send the short messages to the members' handset with a tailored message. The other one is for the WhatsApp, and now members will receive that particular message, those who are at WhatsApp. Then once you are okay with the method, you can select either one, you can select both or all, then you click on send the announcement, and now that will start queuing and sending the announcement one by one. So the other one is the reports. So we have tried as much as we can to bring you the best report system, where you can, at a glance, you can be able to tell you have a total of 12 members who have joined on that particular month, the donations, and of course, here it can tell you the growth rate. How is the growth rate? So you can see we have a decline of 50%. Here you can be able to see, select the report type. So you have several reports, members report, members demographic, and of course once you select members demographic, you can say either you preview the data, but of course you say demographic. Once you select demographic, here you come to the demographic. Of course, here demographic now is based on the gender, marital status. Here you can be able to say, I want to be able to filter this with only the youths group. Okay, and now once you preview this data, of course you see our charts now changes, and of course we are, because it's the youth group, we are at the young adult. So most of our youths are young adult, and of course you can see we have 75% of males. Those who are single are still 50%. Married, we have at least 33%. So you can see that you can also say by attendance, but here you can clear the filter and of course preview the data. So you can see even the donations, and of course also for the donations, you can view the donations for maybe the elders only, and you can see this, how this dynamic it is, state of the art. So the reason also, I remember the reason why now I'm able to, I added this to be able to select this is once you now select maybe birthday report, so you can see the birthday, how they will come, and of course you see this now filters also changes. Like when we have members report, you see you can filter members changes for members, the filter changes for members. So birthday reports the same, and of course now when it changes like that, you can say, oh yes, then say download the report, and now this keep, let's see whether you get the birthday, and of course you get the birthday, get their full name, their member number, the birth date, their age. So you see, now with this, you will be able to tell the birthdays of those particular people, and then say they are a valued member of. So here are also some quick reports. You can get this month's birthdays, all active member, demographic summary, all groups. So those are quick links to get those reports. Yeah, and with that, the systems, I think that's what the ChurchFlock is all about. Yeah, so of course, the system keeps on improving. Of course, with the next version, we'll be able to drop more and show you more of what we'll have created.